Hey there, how's everyone doing? This is Kristen Fagan here. So, having a creative life, one of the things I want you to really think about is that you have one, you deserve one. We all are here to be creative in our own unique and interesting ways, and just believe it, know that you are, call yourself an artist or creative, and explore. I always bring with me a little pack of art supplies when I travel. And so I thought it would be fun to share with you some things I may bring along with me when I travel, and maybe it'll inspire you to bring some stuff along with you when you travel as well. And it might not mean that you're traveling far. You could just be traveling to the park or traveling to the mountains or traveling to the lake nearby, and just bringing a few supplies with you to create with while you're there. I like to do this when I travel. I don't always pull it out and use it, but I do like to make sure I have it, because you never know when inspiration strikes, and you never know when you'll have those few moments of just quiet that you can go ahead and make something fun in your book. It's also like a way of remembering. I know that I went to New Orleans years and years ago, and everyone was sleeping and I was the only one up, so I decided that that was a perfect time to grab my little bag of art supplies, walk down to the square, and I found a great little spot to sit, and I just drew the trees and the bushes and just the whole little square that I was sitting in. And instead of taking a picture, I can look back and see that drawing that I made, and it puts me right back in that place. It brings me right back to that moment when I was sitting in that square by myself, enjoying a new city, while everyone else was back sleeping at the hotel. So that's why I love to bring art supplies with me when I travel. You just never know. So I'm gonna turn the camera down and show you some of the things I generally tend to bring with me. And if you bring any art supplies on your travels, let me know what you like to bring. And it could be as simple as just a little notebook and a pen and pencil. Sometimes I just do drawing with like just pen, and that's enough. So I have this cute little bag that I sewed with one of my friends years and years ago. She taught some basic sewing classes, and this is the bag I like to put it in. It's not real big, so that's good. It kind of helps me focus on limiting what I'm carrying with me, but big enough. So my first thing I have in here is my mixed media sketchbook. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 size. It's a nice easy size to throw in a bag and carry with you. Because it's mixed media, I can do any type of wet or dry ideas on here. So that's always great to bring. And I usually try and bring one that has at least a few pages, but I know I'm not gonna do a ton. So I think on this I've got like, yeah, I've got about 20 pages back here, maybe 15, 20 pages. That's plenty to know that I'll have work to work on. The other nice thing about bringing a book that's in progress is that I can sometimes, and I do this a lot, I will flip to a page that maybe is like just a background, or maybe I just was doodling on it, and I can now just come in with some pen or some marker and just add some details. And that's a great way to work on something in a very small spurt of time, and just already have stuff going on in the background that you can play with, right? So one reason I do like to actually bring one that's in progress is I tend to have pages that I could pick up and just quickly work from. And then I also have this I picked up, which is just a really simple stitch-in book for any kind of writing. So this is really small. Sometimes I might just bring this if I'm really short on space and just bring something small like this. It has dots in the inside, so I can use it for writing or I can use it for drawing. And I've even used pages like this for some watercolor. It does get a little wrinkly, but I'm okay with that. Here's one of my other ones that I've used and I've done watercolor on it, and it totally works. As long as you don't get too heavy with your watercolor, you'll be all right and you'll be able to use it. And or if you do get heavy, like this page got pretty heavy, I glued 2 pages together, and that gives you a little more oomph. So for that, I just have a little glue stick with me, and you can just take this and say I want to just glue these 2 pages together and then give myself a little bit heavier of a page to work with. So that's usually in my bag as well. These are 2 things I usually always carry. I've got my Koi watercolor travel set, and I love this little set. It's really, really pretty colors. The quality of these watercolors are really nice. You can see it's well used and well loved. You have a little palette here that you can mix paints on. I have this little page that I did for each of the colors so that I can see quickly what colors each of those are. And it came with this wonderful travel brush. Let me grab it. Which is fantastic. You can buy these separately as well. They are, you twist it open and you fill that with water right there, and then you close it up again, and then you just squeeze when you want to release water from the brush, and then you can pick up your paints and use it. And this thing has been on so many trips with me. I only have this one, but I know you can buy different sizes. But there's a simplicity sometimes that I just really enjoy when I'm traveling. So I've just kept this one. It usually has a little cap that you can put on here too, so you can fill up the reservoir, put the cap on, and then you can pack these right in here. But I did lose my cap, but that's how it's supposed to be. You could cap it on there and then close it up, and then this thing is really great. They come in different, I think you can get a 16 color one. I believe this is the 32 or 24, 1, 2, 3, 6, 12. This is 24. So there's 16, there's 24. I think there's even a 48 color size. So whatever, this one just felt like a good medium size for me to be able to travel with. And I love this thing. If I was gonna say one thing only, I'd probably take this and my small sketchbook, and then that would be like really minimal. I usually like to bring these pastels with me too. They're nice, quick, dry media, and I can always put a lot of color down really fast and do a bunch of scribbles with these. I find them to be a lot of fun. So this is something I tend to travel with. However, I'm wondering if I should just take these instead this year. These are new to me. I've only used them a couple of times, but they are dry media as well, but then you can also activate them with water and turn them into watercolors. So this could be a nice substitution of something to take that's both wet and dry, and only one item you have to pack. So I'm thinking about these this year on my trip. So in addition to those kind of supplies, I do bring a little bag of goodies, and this can just be a random assortment. I probably have more in here than I will tend to pack. Right now I've got some markers. So a couple of different markers, and you know, you don't need to bring a whole set of something. You can just grab a few colors, and that gives you a little bit of a challenge at times. You might not have the exact color you're looking for, but for me, I feel like when I'm traveling, I don't need to have every single color available to me. I just need to have a couple of items in the format that I feel like playing with, and that's enough. So I've got a couple of markers. I always have one of these micron pens with me. This is the number 8, which seems to be a nice all-around size. I always have one of these Signo white pens with me by Uniball. I love this guy. And then I always have a pencil and a pen. I tend to like pens that are a little more like a gel pen, so they glide. And then lastly, I've just got a bunch of different colored pencils here. And some of these colored pencils can be activated with water, like these 3. And then these are just some traditional colored pencils. So again, I don't need to have like every single color range available. I just tend to grab a handful of different things so that depending on my mood and where I am, I can play with markers, or I can play with colored pencils, or I could play with inks and a little eraser. And I think I have a pencil sharpener in here too. Yeah, and a very simple pencil sharpener. So that's it. That's my travel pack. Sometimes I bring all of it with me. Sometimes I just simplify and bring a little bit less. But if I could, I think this would be a really happy place. So this is just in relation to just drawing, painting, and that kind of craft. This is what I would bring. And then I can pack it all up in my little bag and be set for an adventure. So here's to creative exploring. Candace says, this is perfect. I'm traveling this month and I pulled out one of your pouches I purchased. Fantastic. Yes, I do sell pouches over in my Redbubble shop and my Society 6 shop. So maybe I will link those here on the video. So if you're interested in checking them out, you can grab a little pouch for yourself with some of my artwork on it to take with you on your travels. Yeah, I think this is a nice way to explore, and it really works well if you are traveling or just getting outside. And it's nice to be able to get out and create as well at the same time. So pack yourself a little bag, have it ready, you know, maybe even want to pack it and leave it by the door or something, and then when the inspiration strikes, you can grab it and just take it with you out on a little adventure. Right? Talk to you all soon. Happy exploring.